In one of my last videos, I shared how it is that I make it all work as a work-at-home mom. I'm a mom to 3 little kids, ages 5, 3, and 15 months old. My oldest two, the 5-year-old and 3-year-old, they are in preschool during the week. So that helps a little bit as far as being able to get things done, but I'm still home with this one right here. And so a lot of you loved what I shared as far as my blogging schedule went and how it is that I make all my different components for my business work. But many of you wanted to know how it is that I make it all work as far as the household and my kids and managing all of that as well. So you were not just interested in knowing what it is that I do as far as being able to keep my business afloat. You wanted to know how it was that I could keep my life afloat. And I totally get that. So I thought I would share with you exactly how it is that I make that happen. So here's how a typical day works in our household. I get up at 6 a.m., I have my coffee, do my Bible reading, say my prayers, do all that fun stuff. And then at 7 a.m., my boys get up. Usually she gets up at about 7:30. Sometimes it's 7, but usually it's 7:30 that she gets up. And once my boys are up, they have their breakfast. I get in the shower, take my shower, get ready. She gets up at 7:30, so I'll put her in the kitchen for her breakfast. And then we all get ready. We all make our beds, and we all leave to take the boys to preschool. And from there, Charlotte and I come home, and that's about 9 o'clock. So from about 9 until 11 a.m. every single day, Monday through Friday, I work. And I already shared what my work schedule was, so I won't go into that. And I'll include a link to that video where I go into more details about what I do every day and how it's different for my work. But when it comes to Charlotte, she is either napping between 9 and 11. She's either hanging out with me, as you see right now, or she's on the floor next to me playing. My dog was walking around earlier, so you may have seen my dog in the background. And sometimes she just plays with the dog. That's what she does from 9 to 11. But the truth is that she's a very content baby. My boys, they were totally not as content as her. They were a whole lot more wild. Maybe that's just the difference between boys and girls. I don't know, but definitely she's more content. So she's usually very happy to play by herself. But that wasn't always the case with my boys. With my boys, I have to get a little bit more creative with them, and I would have to stagger out my time. So I would basically work in about 30-minute increments. Very rarely did I ever get an hour to myself when it was my boys at home with me. So I would spend 30 minutes playing with them, and then that would kind of appease them enough that they would go play by themselves for about 30 minutes, and I could get some work done, and then I would have to go back and play with them for about another 30 minutes and then go back to work. It's all going to depend on your children and what works best for them. So don't expect what works for my family to work for yours. Yes, baby. And then after 11 a.m. is when I make lunch. Charlotte and I have lunch. We go pick up the boys. We come home, and we have our rest of our day from there. And so here is how I set up my schedule. I started with writing down exactly what time I get up every morning, what time my boys get up, what time Charlotte gets up, and then I wrote down our bedtimes. From there, I wrote down the times that we eat. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and our snack times. As silly as it sounds, because I know that those are all things that we all do every single day, by putting them down into my schedule, I could then start working around those set times, because we have to eat and we have to go to bed and we got to wake up, right? So those are set times. From there, I wrote in how long it takes each one of us to get ready. Me, it takes obviously a little bit longer for me to get ready than it does for me to help my children get ready. My boys know how to brush their own teeth and they know how to get themselves dressed, so I don't have to do that. So if you're still at the stage where you have to do that for them, it might take you a little bit longer to get your children ready. But write down about how long it takes for each one of you to get ready. Write that down into your schedule as well. From there, write down anything else that's reoccurring, things that require you to maybe go outside the house, like a reoccurring play date. If you have to drop your children off at school, reoccurring doctor's appointments, any type of reoccurring thing that's going to happen either on a weekly or monthly basis, make sure you account for that in your schedule, because you're going to want to make sure that you're scheduling around those things that you can't really move. Then from there, start writing down the things that you have to do for your business. How long do those things take you? Again, in my previous video, I shared the different tasks that I do on different days for my business, and I came up with those based on about how long it takes me. For instance, on Wednesdays, all I do is write blog post. The reason for that is because it can take me an hour to sometimes 2 hours to write a full blog post, do all the SEO, do all the formatting, do all the linking to it, and it can take a while for me to do all of the graphics for it as well. And so in the grand total, it can take about 2 hours. When I first made my schedule, I had only blocked off an hour of time for writing blog posts, and I quickly realized that that just wasn't enough time. I had to devote 2 hours. So this is all going to be trial and error as you go through this process. You're going to have to figure out realistically how much time it takes for you to do each one of your tasks, whether that's business related or home related. After setting up my work schedule, I went around and set up my cleaning schedule and even my laundry schedule. As crazy as that sounds, I make sure I do at least one full load of laundry a day. But one of my tricks to that is I actually set the timer on my phone for my laundry. So when I go downstairs and I set the washing machine, I set my phone's timer to the wash machine. Because if I don't do that, one, my laundry room is in the basement. So I don't pass by it enough to remember that I have laundry sitting there. And so I won't remember until it's time to go to bed. And then I'm like, oh, crud, now I got to go put the laundry in the dryer, got to fold it and put it up. So now I got to stay up late, right? So instead, I have the alarm on my phone. So when it goes off, I know that I can just go downstairs, put it in the dryer, set my timer again so I remember to go and get the laundry out of the dryer, fold it, and put it away. All in the day. So I don't have to worry about laundry sitting in the dryer. They got to restart the dryer 40,000 times before I ever fold that load of laundry, right? I can keep up with it. The other thing is I do a different cleaning task every single day. So Mondays, I typically clean the bathrooms. Our bathrooms are really small, so it only takes me 15 minutes to clean the bathrooms. Tuesdays is dusting. I just go around, dust the house. Wednesdays, I vacuum. But by having this set schedule and this set routine, the household, it keeps flowing. Things don't get backed up. The laundry doesn't get backed up. The house doesn't get crazy. It doesn't become just unbearable, right? It doesn't become chaotic. That's what I love about having a schedule. And so if you are a work-at-home mom, especially if you're a blogger, I encourage you to set your schedule. Again, start with the times that you wake up and you go to bed. Fill in the times with what times you typically eat, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and your snacks. Fill in how long it takes for you to get ready, how long it takes for your children to get ready. Fill in, any reoccurring appointments that you have to make sure that you account for. Make sure that you calculate into how much time it takes for you to do the different tasks that you need to do for your business. Make sure you calculate that in so you can figure out your work schedule so you're not running around like a crazy person every single day without a plan or a purpose for that day. Make sure from there that you figure out what your cleaning schedule is, your household schedule, the laundry. Those are all important things that as a mom, and especially as a work-at-home mom, that you'll have to figure out. And of course, all of this is going to revolve around you and your children. Maybe you don't work well in the mornings. Maybe you work better at night. Totally okay. That's totally okay. Your schedule is going to be completely different than mine because your children are different than mine and you're different than me. So make sure that when you're setting up this schedule that you're setting it up around what works for you. Now, again, it's going to take trial and error. The first time you do this, it might not work so well. But don't just give up. Just look at it and say, okay, well, what needs to change? Okay, so this time frame doesn't really work well for that. Like I used to clean my bathrooms. I used to try to clean my bathrooms in the morning right after my boys left for school. But I realized that cut into so much of my work time that I never really just got it done. And so I actually now clean my bathrooms Monday nights. At 9 o'clock, right before I go to bed, I clean our bathrooms. Again, it only takes me 15 minutes, but it's 15 minutes that's not being taken away from my work schedule. And it's 15 minutes that I can clean the bathrooms 9 p.m. before I go to bed for the night. And even though that might sound weird that I clean my bathrooms at night instead of during the day, it works for me. It works for me. Just like when I vacuum on Wednesdays right after I pick up my boys from school. Reason being is because I can't vacuum while Charlotte's napping because then that would just wake her up. So that would be pointless. I don't want to vacuum while I'm working because I need to be working. I'm writing blog posts on Wednesdays. And I want to vacuum after my boys have come home from school because a lot of times there's still some things that my boys might need to pick up that we didn't get a chance to pick up before we left for school. I'm a huge fan of not picking up after my children. I encourage them to pick up after themselves. And so that's part of me trying to help them understand that it's their responsibility to pick up after themselves and that I don't have to do it. And so they'll pick up their stuff and they actually help me with the vacuuming. So it's really, really great. And it's a great learning experience for them. So just figure out what works well for you and make your schedule around that. I hope this helped you, and just please drop me a comment or send me an email at Jessi@jessifearon.com. I would love to help you create your schedule.